Today, I bring you a chilling tale, one that unfurls around the unnatural demise of an elderly couple, both nearing their 70s. The sheer brutality and malice of the perpetrators sent shivers down the spines of the Hubei police force. The crime scene was a canvas of crimson, bloodstains stretching from within the house to the very courtyard outside. For a decade that followed, the Major Crimes Unit relentlessly pursued justice, racing against time to unmask the killers. Let us journey back to a fateful day, September 24, 2008, in Xiangzhou District, Xianyang City, Hubei Province, where a horrifying tragedy unfolded. It was still the dim, early hours of dawn, precisely 6 a.m., when local police received an urgent call from a distraught citizen. The voice on the other end trembled with fear. He reported, from Chenqiao Village, Huanglong Town, the gruesome discovery of an elderly man lying dead, drenched in blood, right beside the wall near his home. Upon receiving the alarming news, Xiangzhou District Police immediately rushed to the scene. What greeted them was a chaotic spectacle, as curious villagers had flocked to the site, murmuring in hushed tones. Swiftly, the police cordoned off the entire area, securing the crime scene and preventing any inadvertent destruction of crucial clues. Once order was restored, the arduous investigation commenced. The scene of the crime was a modest house nestled at the end of the village, its front boasting a small general store run by the elderly Mr. and Mrs. Gu. Adjacent to the wall near the entrance, officers discovered an elderly man, lying lifeless in a pool of blood, his body riddled with wounds, particularly around his head and neck. Fresh blood was splattered everywhere, hinting at a ferocious struggle. As they ventured deeper into the courtyard, police found yet another body, an elderly woman, also motionless and covered in blood. The gruesome sight sent chills down the spines of onlookers. Upon identification, investigators confirmed the victims were indeed Mr. and Mrs. Gu, both nearing 70 years of age. Neighbors recounted their gentle and hard-working nature, stating they had no known conflicts with anyone. Their general store enjoyed stable business, leaving everyone bewildered as to why they had met such a brutal end. To facilitate the investigation, the police codenamed this case 924. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the Xiangzhou District Investigation Force promptly established a special task force, mobilizing all resources to apprehend the culprits. Remarkably, just 3 days before the Gu family murders, on September 21, 2008, a strikingly similar murder occurred in Dong Xian Town, not far away. This case was dubbed 921 by the police. In the 921 case, the victims were also a couple running a small general store. The female owner, Ms. Mei Hoa, was found dead amidst her store, covered in multiple wounds. Her husband, Mr. Tran, was discovered in a lotus pond less than 20 meters from the store, with fatal blows to his head. From the clues gathered, police deduced that the killer had meticulously planned the crime beforehand. He lured the male victim out of the house, then bludgeoned him to death with a heavy object. After dispatching the husband, the perpetrator returned to the store, approached and murdered the wife in a similar fashion, then stole all the cash before escaping. Forensic examination confirmed that both victims in the 921 case died from blows to the head with a heavy object. The weapon was likely a claw hammer, given the shape and size of the wounds. Police also hypothesized that the killer knew the victims, allowing him to easily lure Mr. Tran to the lotus pond and commit the act. Afterwards, he remained calm enough to approach Ms. Mei Hoa in the store and execute his cruel plan. The killer's plan was meticulously laid out. Every move was carefully calculated, leaving police with few useful clues. While the 921 case remained unsolved, another abnormal death occurred, this time involving the Gu couple. What was striking were the uncanny similarities between the two cases. Both crime scenes were small general stores by the roadside. The female victims were murdered inside the house, while the male victims' bodies were found outside. The killer's methods in both cases were almost identical. Realizing this could not be mere coincidence, police decided to merge the two cases and expand their investigation. A reconnaissance team was dispatched to the Gu family's home in Huanglong Town for a thorough examination of the crime scene. There, they discovered numerous bloody footprints in the courtyard, along with a blood-stained wooden stick. Tests revealed that the blood and fingerprints on the stick belonged to the victim. It was plausible that before his death, Mr. Gu had used the stick to fight back against the assailant. The scattered bloodstains, from inside to outside, further supported this theory. Inside the house, where Mrs. Ge's body was found, investigators discovered two different footprints. One bloody barefoot print was identified as Mr. Ge's, while the other was a sneaker print, likely left inadvertently by the perpetrator. On Mrs. Ge's body, investigators found few wounds, mainly concentrated around her neck and waist. The wounds were sharp, deep, possibly caused by a very sharp knife. However, all were fatal blows, causing rapid blood loss and immediate death. Analyzing Mr. Ge's death, police surmised he was likely attacked unexpectedly but still managed to resist. During the pursuit, a fierce struggle ensued, leaving a bloody scene. Ultimately, he was stabbed multiple times in the chest by the perpetrator, leading to pulmonary hemorrhage and death. Continuing to follow the traces at the scene, investigators unearthed a crucial clue, a clear bloody fingerprint near the edge of the bed, next to a small shelf inside the store. This could be the perpetrator's print. Police put forth two hypotheses. First, the perpetrator accidentally touched this spot during the pursuit. Second, he might have been searching for valuables and inadvertently left the print. Additionally, in another corner outside the house, police found a blood-stained iron rod, suspected to be the murder weapon. What truly surprised the police was that all the cash the victims had hidden under their pillows remained untouched. So, what was the perpetrator's true motive if property wasn't taken? According to forensic examination, the time of death for the Gu couple was determined to be between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. on September 23, 2008. Nearby neighbors recalled faintly hearing arguments echoing from the Ge's house around that time. However, the night was too dark and gloomy, deterring anyone from venturing outside to investigate. Expanding the investigation, police discovered that despite being nearly 70, Mr. Gu was in good health, with a kind and friendly disposition. He rarely had conflicts with anyone, let alone enemies. Furthermore, security in Xiangzhou district was usually tightly controlled, with thefts and murders being extremely rare. Yet, in just 4 days, 2 horrific murders claimed the lives of 4 innocent citizens. News of the cases plunged the public into extreme panic, and fear permeated everywhere. Everyone wondered, what will this killer do next? Will he stop? To quell public anxiety and expedite the investigation, the Hubei Provincial Criminal Investigation Department immediately dispatched top experts to assist the Xiangzhou District Police Force. Initially, the investigation focused primarily on determining whether there was a connection between the September 21, 921, and September 24, 924, cases. However, as the investigation broadened, authorities discovered that the situation might be far more complex. During a meeting to discuss the 2 cases, an expert provided information that stunned everyone. On August 27, in Dengzhou City, Hunan Province, a new case occurred with details eerily similar to the previous 2. The bodies of 2 victims were found in a small roadside store. Less than 3 days later, on August 30, in Zhongshan County, Jingmen City, a 4th case occurred with a similar modus operandi. The police force was aghast at the revelation. In less than a month, there had been 4 serial murders. A striking point was that all victims were couples running small shops. Was this merely a coincidence, or was there truly a single perpetrator behind all of them? Although there wasn't enough evidence to definitively link all the cases, police couldn't rule out the possibility of a single perpetrator. Based on this assumption, experts analyzed that if the perpetrator had committed successive crimes and was on the run, he would certainly need transportation to carry out his criminal acts and escape. Immediately, police began reviewing all surveillance cameras around the crime scenes to track down suspicious vehicles. However, in 2008, security camera systems were rudimentary, and technology was not as developed as it is today, making clue collection extremely challenging. After many days of investigation, police still hadn't found any valuable information. A week passed, and the case reached an impasse. Faced with this situation, the investigation team was forced to convene an emergency meeting to discuss and find a new direction. The meeting was steeped in tension. Suddenly, an investigator raised a point. Although cases 921 and 924 had similarities in their execution, there were also significant differences. For example, in case 924, the victims had more wounds and showed signs of fierce resistance. This suggested that the perpetrator might not have been strong enough to subdue both victims simultaneously. From this, experts hypothesized that the perpetrator might be a young man, whose physical strength and stamina were not yet fully developed. Or, this could have been his first time, leading to inexperience and mistakes that allowed the victims to resist. Recognizing the reasonableness of this speculation, police immediately focused on investigating the social relationships of the victim's family. During their inquiries, they received crucial information from a witness living near the crime scene. On the night of the crime, 3 young men were seen in the area. One was on a motorcycle, and the other 2 walked behind. Recognizing this as a potentially vital lead, police quickly began monitoring these 3 individuals. After several days of surveillance, they discovered that the group of young men frequently frequented motels, internet cafes, and entertainment venues in the city. Following the trail, police visited a local internet cafe to gather more information. The cafe manager stated that around 9 p.m. on the night of the crime, 3 young men came to play, but only rented 1 computer. At 11 p.m., the group quickly left. Notably, one of the 3 was a regular customer and a classmate of the victim's granddaughter. Based on this crucial clue, the investigation team gradually unearthed information about one of the suspicious individuals. His name was Huang Kuan, 18 years old, residing in Huanglong town. Further investigation revealed that Huang Kuan had a special relationship with the victim's granddaughter. However, because the granddaughter was still very young and of school age, Mr. Go firmly opposed this relationship. Could this alone be the reason Huang Kuan heartlessly murdered both Mr. and Mrs. Go? Although there was no concrete evidence yet, considering the motive, Huang Kuan became the prime suspect. To find more clues, police met with the victim's granddaughter, a crucial link in the case. Checking her phone, they found that on September 21st, Huang Kuan had sent numerous threatening messages via social media. In the messages, he accused her of betraying him, even declaring he would hate her for life and make those around her pay. These words further solidified the suspicion of his revenge motive. When questioning Huang Kuan's relatives, the family confirmed that since September 23rd, he had not returned home and had not contacted anyone. His call history showed that on the day of the crime, Huang Kuan had contacted a person surnamed Liu, who lived near the crime scene. However, after that, the 2 had no further communication. Police immediately shifted their investigation to the person surnamed Liu and quickly apprehended this suspect. During interrogation, this individual revealed that on September 26, Huang Kuan and another person named Liu Deng had sought him out to collect a debt. Afterwards, on September 27, both of them left, but he was unsure where they went. This information made Liu Deng the next target of the investigation. According to records, Lu Deng was an old classmate of Huang Kuan. Notably, since the day of the crime, Lu Deng's family had also completely lost contact with him. With the newly gathered evidence, police determined that Huang Kuan and Lu Deng were directly involved in the deaths of the good couple. On June 10, 2008, police discovered Lu Deng accessing the internet at an internet cafe in Xianyang district. After pinpointing his location, a reconnaissance force quickly surrounded the area, awaiting the opportune moment. About 2 hours later, as Lu Deng left the cafe, he was immediately subdued on the spot. Despite his attempts to evade, providing false statements to mislead, Lu Deng eventually confessed to having murdered the good couple with Huang Kuan, facing irrefutable evidence. He further implicated a third accomplice, Zhang Xing. This confession surprised the police. However, when asked about Zhang Xing's whereabouts, Lu Deng claimed he didn't know. According to him, after leaving Wuhan, all three dispersed to flee. Huang Kuan returned to his hometown in Huanglong town, while Zhang Xing's whereabouts remained unknown. On October 7, 2008, thanks to the cooperation of Huang Kuan's sister, police identified his hiding place and successfully arrested him. During interrogation, Huang Kuan confessed to the entire crime. He stated that because Mr. and Mrs. Gu constantly obstructed and refused to accept him as their granddaughter's boyfriend, he harbored resentment. Initially, he only intended to teach them a lesson, but the situation unexpectedly escalated into a bloody tragedy. 2 innocent lives were tragically cut short on a tragic night. As for Case 921, it wasn't until 2012 that police found the real culprit and successfully apprehended him in Zhuhai district. However, Case 924 still had a crucial missing link that remained unsolved: the whereabouts of Zhang Xing. All traces related to him led to dead ends. The police seemed powerless in their quest to bring Zhang Xing to justice. This was like a sharp knife plunging deep into the hearts of the victim's family, leaving them forever trapped in unanswered questions. No one knew when this third perpetrator would be apprehended. Meanwhile, Zhang Xing's uncaptured status allowed his 2 accomplices, Huang Kuan and Lu Deng, to equivocate and deny their full involvement. Huang Kuan claimed he wasn't at the house at the time of the crime and asserted that Lu Deng and Zhang Xing were the ones who directly murdered the victims. Conversely, Lu Deng maintained his innocence, claiming that Huang Kuan and Zhang Xing were the true perpetrators. The testimonies of both were contradictory and lacked verification, preventing police from fully clarifying the details of the case and bringing it to a comprehensive trial. Consequently, the death sentences of Huang Kuan and Lu Deng were temporarily postponed by the court. This outcome infuriated the victim's family. The police understood that only by finding Zhang Xing could true justice be served. During the search, police discovered that after committing the crime, Zhang Xing told his 2 accomplices that he would go to Chongqing to hide and then cut off contact. Police immediately launched an investigation in Chongqing, but found no trace of him. In reality, with cunning, Zhang Xing had fled to the home of a distant uncle in Hunan. However, when police arrived in Hunan, the uncle stated that he had left and was likely hiding in Shanghai. Despite quickly heading to Shanghai, police still couldn't catch up with Zhang Xing's trail. Continuing to investigate friends, relatives, and places Zhang Xing might frequent, police still couldn't find any useful clues. The perpetrator seemed to have vanished from the face of the earth. Even so, the police did not give up. As long as Zhang Xing remained at large, they would continue their search. More than 10 years passed, with no new information emerging. But the Xiangzhou District Police never forgot him, for they knew that the victim's family still yearned for justice day and night. Police regularly issued wanted notices to police stations across China. However, the results remained zero. Police suspected that Zhang Xing might have changed his identity to evade the law. They checked all his social connections and places he had visited, but all efforts yielded no results. It wasn't until 2018, when the Ministry of Public Security of China launched a nationwide campaign to apprehend criminals, that progress was finally made. Thanks to the application of advanced technology and investigations, police cross-referenced Zhang Xing's birth date and hometown information with national population data. A man named Wang Dong, from Xi'an, Shaanxi, came under suspicion due to multiple matches with Zhang Xing. On September 27, 2018, police in Xi'an successfully apprehended this individual and transferred the information to the Xiangzhou District Police Department. When interrogated, upon hearing the names Huang Kuan and Lu Deng, Zhang Xing could not conceal his emotions. He trembled, his psychological defenses seemingly collapsing completely. Not long after, Zhang Xing officially bowed his head and confessed to his crime. Under the guidance of the investigators, he slowly recounted the entire story that unfolded that year. Rewind to 2008, when Zhang Xing, then just an 18-year-old teenager, unexpectedly received a daring proposition from Huang Kuan. Huang Kuan wanted Zhang Xing and Lu Deng, all three, to collaborate on a theft plan at the Gu family's house. After obtaining the money, they would divide it and enjoy themselves freely. However, during the execution, the three naive thieves carelessly made a loud noise, inadvertently waking the homeowners. Panicked, they preemptively attacked Mr. Gu to escape, but unexpectedly met with fierce resistance from the victim. The struggle was incredibly tense. Despite his age, Mr. Gu managed to maintain a balance of power. It was only when Huang Kuan stabbed him with a knife that the situation truly changed. At this point, the three young murderers continuously attacked Mr. Ge's entire body, causing him to bleed profusely and die shortly thereafter. Of course, to conceal the incident, they heartlessly took the life of his wife. Recalling the horrifying memories of that night, Zhang Xing expressed immense regret. In truth, throughout those years, he had lived in constant fear and guilt. Describing his escape, Zhang Xing stated that he was very young then, and his only thought was to flee as far away from the police as possible. He hoped that with the passage of time, all his crimes would be forgotten. For 10 years, Zhang Xing constantly changed jobs, sometimes working as a restaurant server in Hunan, sometimes toiling at construction sites in Shanghai. To avoid detection by the police, he changed residences every 3 months, even using false names to deceive people. By the time of his capture, Zhang Xing had become a small business owner, with a certain standing in society. Throughout the interrogation, Zhang Xing himself was aware of the severe consequences he had caused. But because he dared not face reality, he chose to run away. It turned out that just to earn a bit of money for entertainment, Zhang Xing had thoughtlessly murdered 2 innocent lives. However, no matter how much he regretted it, it was too late, and nothing could be changed. All 3 perpetrators in this case received the highest sentence, death, for their murders. This is the strictness of the law and a great comfort to the victim's family. Adolescence is often the most impulsive age in a person's life, a time when we are easily tempted by external factors. This could be for love, material wealth, or simply personal pride. But without a good education and a strong mindset, any of us can fall and become the worst version of ourselves. The 3 perpetrators in today's story are Huang Kuan, Zhang Xing, and Lu Deng. It was these youthful impulses that left an indelible stain, leading all 3 young men down a path from which there was no return. More sadly, it was the deaths of the unfortunate victims and the inconsolable grief of those left behind. Therefore, we hope that, regardless of the circumstances, we always take a moment to pause, think carefully before acting, and learn to distinguish right from wrong, and the gravity of situations when dealing with life's problems, so as not to go astray and regret it later. Especially for young people, take the time to learn to love, be tolerant, and cherish those around you. Finally, Case 924 has found its resolution. Those involved have paid the price for their wrongdoings. This case also concludes our story today. What do you think about this case? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section so we can discuss further. And please don't hesitate to give a like and subscribe to my channel if this is your first time encountering it. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye and see you again.